Like him.
Yeah. He has the special cartridges for wide cards.
Same like Danielo used to have.
28-gram Danny.
Counting device like this video maybe. I was laughing.
We're meant to be talking people up.
This video shot 27. Well, 28 he would have been in the shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
And he lost the last pair. Yeah.
And he's got a counting device, has he?
Yeah, he has.
Has he?
Electronic one, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What,
Has
in
he?
his
Where?
pocket? What, like a little tablet?
I don't know. The guy from Malaysia, Core.
Oh yeah, Benjamin.
Yeah, Edward.
Edward's Gore, yeah.
Was in the same squad in Almaty. He told me that, and you could see it always. He was like.
I know.
What are you going to talk about this one?
You.
Yeah.
Going to talk about Charlotte. Actually, there's loads to talk about. Oh, Michael, you haven't heard. You haven't heard the latest.
Hey, you could go on about Michael Diamond and you're
My best mate.
Take a picture of us three, Kev, please.
My bestie. Oh, I've got a brilliant Charlotte story to tell you later.
Yeah, what happened on the last day?
Cheers, Kev.
Oh no, for this trip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
boss.
yeah.
Smile, you're through.
Anchorman.
So I get one more.
Fuck you, Chicago.
Yeah. Cheers, Kev.
Marco Innocente.
You do that after that, you go,
Oh,
and Michael
right.
Diamond, I'd just like to put you right.
Yeah. Check yourself,
Yeah.
mate.
Right down behind Scotty, unable to shoot an semi-automatic rifle.
We'll mention that.
His legs are too small. He was silver in conception, Marco Innocente. You got 3G on your phone, Tim? You haven't?
Yeah, no, it's kind of not really going very well. It is now, yeah. Which one will I go?
Just go ISSF, Google ISSF, and then you'll get the link, and then you'll be able to just go to athletes.
Get off you porn.
Straight on. Famous. Samsung.
French, you just caught an audible on live TV. She was saying, sorry, mate, Charlotte. Stop! Knife to the heart, mate. Knife to the heart.
Oh, Michael, what have you done?
What have I done?
I just take another discipline. This is manual double trap. Just double trap, shoot off, select this one, go automatic.
Ready? Okay, just.
Shut there!
Ready, first fire.
Just the solo. Awesome.
shooters, please. Three, four, five, six.
Ladies and gentlemen, the organizing committee for the European Championship 2014 and the European Shooting Confederation welcome you to Szabolcs Puszta shooting range. The final competition for the double drop of men will now begin. Shooter number 1, representing Great Britain, 2003 Junior World Champion, Stephen Scott. Shooter number 2, representing Italy, 2 times Junior World Champion, Marco Innocenti. Shooter number 3, representing Slovakia, gold medalist at this year's World Cup in Munich, Hubert Olenjinek. Shooter number 4, representing Germany, silver medalist at the World Championship 2011, Andreas Löw. Shooter number 5, representing Russian Federation, Olympic bronze medalist, Vasily Mosin. Shooter number 6, representing Russian Federation, 2006 World Champion, Vitaly Fokiv. The jury member in charge for the final is Mr. Maurice Gautel from Great Britain, and the referee for today's double trap men final, Mr. Onorino Cognini from Italy. The double trap men final competition can now begin.
Welcome back, everybody, to those of you that joined us for the Junior European Championships final. We're about to commence the Senior Men double trap final, and in today's top 6-man final, we have in number 1 qualification place, we had Marco Innocenti from Italy, shooting 143. In second place, we had Stephen Scott from Great Britain, shooting 140. In third place, we had Vasily Mosin of Russia on 139. In fourth was Hubert Olnek from Slovakia on 138. And then tied on 137 was Andreas Löw from Germany and Vitaly Fokiv from Russia. Joining me again is Tim Neal, Great Britain double trap shooter and current double trap world and European record holder. Welcome, Tim.
Thanks, Matt. So again, we're about to kick off, or Steve Scott kicks us off there in the senior men's final with a nice clean pair, followed by Marco Innocenti, who was shot the highest score in qualification of 143. And we anticipate this final to be extremely tight. Currently there we've got Hubert Olenek from Slovakia, who won the Munich World Cup just under 2 weeks ago with some fantastic shooting. And there we just seen Andreas Löw from Germany, another excellent shooter who narrowly missed out in the final in Munich, just drop a target. There we have Vasily Mosin, shoot his first clean pair. He's currently world number 1. And his teammate Vitaly Fokiv as well clean his first pair. So Vitaly Fokiv will be hoping to emulate his son, who recently just took a bronze medal in the junior final. Hopefully it'll be a happy day in the Fokiv household when they all get home.
We just saw first mitts from Stephen Scott on his second pair. We move on to Andy Lowe after missing a target on his first pair, has just dropped his second pair. I shot next to him today all day, and he was fantastic. He was very smooth, very quick, as he always is. But he's got off to a very poor start in this final. As we also see a miss from Vasily Mosin, who, as Tim said, is current world number 1. And also a miss by his teammate, Vitaly Fokiv. Followed again by a miss by Stephen Scott. This could be one of those funny semi-final matches where it's not so much about pushing in the big score, it's just keeping ahead of the man next to you. You do see finals where you see 29s and 30 straight shot under extreme pressure, but the conditions here, the light conditions and the wind, I don't think are going to allow it. I think we're going to see a lot of changes in the leaderboard, and it will go down to the last pair, I imagine, to decide who enters into which medal match.
Yeah, so a lot of these guys were competing, I'll say, just under a fortnight ago, just the same as myself and Matt were at the Munich World Cup. So it's not been a lot of time to prepare and get yourself ready. You know, it's kind of almost 10 days, 2 weeks at the most. Pretty much all of these guys are full-time shooters, so they would have gone home, you know, had a few days rest, gone and shot a few targets and just prepared, ready for the event. So it's certainly a big test for them, you know, especially for Hubert from Slovakia. After winning the Munich World Cup, to come back and make a final again, it's just a huge achievement in itself to pick yourself up after winning that event. He would have kind of had a massive high, and then, as always, you have a massive low. So he's either managed to carry that high on, or he's dipped and he's managed to pick himself up, which is, you know, a fantastic achievement just in itself. And I'm sure all the shooters here would know how difficult that is. He's missed one target so far, but everybody has dropped a target so far, if not more. So, as Matt says, it could be an interesting final. The light's changing and the wind is swirling around the ground. At the minute, the light has disappeared and the targets look very tough. We've just seen there from Marco Innocenti, who went into the final with the highest score of 150, drop a complete pair. So that's 2 of our finalists now that have missed complete pairs out of their first 5 pairs. So it could be an interesting final, and at the minute it's wide open really as to who could take the gold medal.
Marco Innocenti there, just as a brief description of his qualification today. He shot 2 back-to-back 30 straights, which is fantastic shooting, especially in these conditions. So it goes to show how tough it is in this semi-final for him to miss 3 out of his last 4 targets.
And Fokiv, and 7 targets for Innocenti, Löw and Mosin.
These are all hardened finalists at world and European level. Steve Scott from Great Britain, who smashes his 6th pair there, but he's won gold, silver and bronze at different times in this event. And we'll be looking to add another medal to his list, but he's up against it today with Marco Innocenti in fantastic form, a multiple World Cup medalist, and in Hubert Olenek, coming off the back of his first ever World Cup win. His confidence should be sky high. Andy Lowe from Germany is a World Championship silver medalist back in 2011, and also made the final last year in the European Championships. Vasily Mosin has been by far and away the most consistent double trap performer since his bronze medal win in London 2012. Making finals on a regular basis. He's in the finals more often than not. He's won the World Cup final last year, World Championship silver, and made numerous other World Cup finals, and he was last year's European champion, which I obviously mustn't forget. Vitaly Fokiv is a former world champion, and again regular finalist. Took bronze in Tucson this year, the first World Cup, and is an incredibly tough competitor.
And just looking at these guys as they shoot the final now, Matt, we can see a lot of them have different techniques. We've already said that a lot of these guys will count, so because they effectively get pairs from the left trap in the middle and the right trap in the middle, and then the outside 2 traps. Although it's random, the first 5 pairs, once they've got through that stage, they will then effectively know one of the next set of targets. So now we've had the first 5 out of the way, I anticipate there to be less misses because everybody will have been counting in their heads and they will know at least one of the targets that they'll be receiving. So as the guys set up, you can see here Vasily Mosin. So as he sets up, he knows exactly where this first bird's going to be, and there'll be very little gun movement. Yeah, we can see there he spot shoots that first target and just moves to the second. So he's pulling the trigger and then looking for the second target. And again, same with Fokiv, although he did miss a second target. And Scotty, if you watch him again now, as he mounts, he knows where this first bird's going to be. Yeah, and he's got a completely still gun, spot shooting that first target and just moving to the second. So a lot of these guys are putting that first bird straight in the bank. They know exactly where it's going to be. They've got very little gun movement, and it's just all about shooting the second bird. So it's not rushing it, to be nice and steady, making sure they see it in these conditions, and being as smooth as they can.
Out of our 6 finalists today, we've got some slightly different makes and models of gun. The Olympic disciplines are always dominated by Perazzi and Beretta, and this final is no different, but we have one man here also shooting a Krieger. The old system of double trap, you would have seen everybody shooting a high rib, so it's a standard shotgun but with a raised rib on top, which gives you better peripheral vision to see the targets coming up from underneath the gun. Now the system has changed and you don't know exactly what targets you're receiving. We have seen a bit of a return to lower ribs and flat ribs. As you'll see, Marco in the Senkai is shooting basically a flat rib. It's a tiny little step on it, but it's effectively a flat rib. The rest are shooting what in double trap we'd call a medium height rib, to give you that split second extra time to see the targets coming up underneath the gun. I think we have 4 Perazzis, 1 Beretta, and 1 Krieghoff in this final. 2 Berettas, I'm told,
Scott is leading with 18
and 1
targets,
Krieghoff.
followed by Mosin 17, Fokiv and Oleznik 16, and ECh2014 15.
So we're 2/3 of the way through. They've all shot 10 pairs, and again, there's only 3 targets separating top and bottom.
Yeah, that's correct. It's still very tight, but at the minute, our teammate Stephen Scott is only 2 targets down at the moment. Next is Vasily Mosin, who's currently dropped 3 targets. So it's still very tight to get into that gold medal match, and obviously the European title. Yeah, so at the minute, Steve Scott has got 3 more pairs to go, and he's looking strong at the moment. Hopefully, he'll enter the the gold medal shoot-off. I mean, the standard is very high, and it is still very tight between them all. I mean, I'd thought Andreas Loh from Germany would be one of the two in the final. At the minute, he could still make it. It wasn't very convenient that he dropped his second pair out, but he's making a good go at it, and he's hanging on in there. I mean, Andreas, as Matt said, was silver world championship shooter in 2011, and narrowly missed out on the final in Munich a fortnight ago, shooting 145, only one target off the current world record. Which, I mean, I seen him after the event, and he was absolutely devastated. Because, you know, to shoot a 145 and not make the final is pretty unheard of. So to pick himself back up and come here and make the final at the Europeans is a huge achievement. So, you know, well done, Andy. Yeah, so now we're in the last kind of 2-3 pairs of the final or the semi-final, and all these guys will effectively know what targets they're going to get now. Some of the cleverer ones will know exactly what pair they've got if they can remember. A lot of them will still just be working on that first bird and just focusing on that, and then looking and seeing what the second one is. So we can see here we've got Stephen Scott and Marco Innocenti shooting next to each other. Actually, Steve Scott's just dropped another one, so that's him and Vasily Mossin, 3 down each at the moment. You can see these guys are all international caliber, but they're all very different in their style and technique and their approach as well. And they've all got very different body shapes as well, Matt. There's no defined, you know, body shape that makes you a good shooter. Whereas, you know, tennis players tend to have to be tall, or long jumpers are, you know, tall and thin. Sprinters are tall and powerful, you know, and divers, you know, are slender and well-toned. But shooting seems to have a very wide demographic in the types of guys that can come here, and girls as well, and shoot well.
Yeah, there certainly is no one specific size that you were looking at that fits all. You don't see so many unfit shooters these days, and most people tend to keep themselves in shape. Yeah, but height and general, you know, your general body shape is no hindrance to becoming a successful international shooter. Look at Peter Wilson, who's I think he's 6'5", 6'6", and we have Steve Scott here, who's just bagged himself a place in the gold-silver medal match. He won't thank me for saying it, but I think he's about 5'6". But fantastic shot, really great guy, and me and Tim are really pleased for him here that he looks to be, well, he's guaranteed himself another European Championships medal.
Yeah, exactly it, Matt. I mean, Scotty definitely needs to lay off the hot dogs. You know, when he said himself he needs to get a bit fitter, so hopefully we'll see a changed man come next year, or maybe even the World Championships. But yeah, that's the end of the semi-final anyway. So at the moment we see Stephen Scott is going to shoot off with Vasily Mossin for the gold and silver medal. We have Hubert Olenek from Slovakia is guaranteed in the bronze medal shoot-off. And the other 3 shooters are all tied. So there will be now a sudden death shoot-off as to who gets into the bronze medal match shoot-off. So there's only 1 place, but 3 shooters. So same as the juniors now, there'll be a sudden death shoot-off. So we've now got Vasily Mossin in front of us, who's given us a thumbs up. He's obviously over the moon to get in the position and have the opportunity to shoot off for the European Championships title. And now we're actually joined by James Deadman's coach, Peter Wilson, so and current Olympic champion. So Peter, what are your thoughts on the day? You know, you must be over the moon with James's results and how things are going.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thanks, Tim. It's absolutely incredible. There was a bit of controversy earlier in the semi-final, but thankfully James made it through to the gold medal match and came away with a silver, which was remarkable.
Yeah, what was that about, Pete?
It was about the way in which the referee acted on a protest on peg 1. James hit the pair. He protested because the referee had buzzed it as a loss, and he didn't actually stop the round. So the rules state that the referee should stop the round, address the protest. Instead, the round continued, and James wasn't allowed to protest officially. So afterwards, I made a sort of official protest to the jury and said that that was wrong, and unfortunately, because the round had continued, there was no way in which to go back.
Okay, interesting, Pete. So really, could James have done anything different?
I think he could have been a bit louder. He sort of wasn't quite sure what to do. He'd never been in this situation before. He's only been shooting a little over a year, and I think he was just so gobsmacked, or maybe in awe, to be in this situation when that actually arose and he had hit the target. He said he had hit the target. He didn't make it maybe clear enough. So the referee, as a result, didn't act. But hey-ho, he came through, got in the gold medal match and came away with the silver, and we're all just delighted.
Yeah, he did exceptionally well, Pete. But it just goes to show as well that, you know, a bit of experience goes a long way, and that was proved again in Munich at the World Cup when Matt French was in a round where another shooter didn't realise that he couldn't see the first set of targets on his second round out. You know, tell us a bit about that, Matt.
Yeah, we had a situation on my own squad where there has been a slight rule change, and the chap was asking to see the first pair of targets out so he could get his hold points and see the flight line of the birds, which is no longer allowed. So it's and it upset him when he didn't realise he'd got this rule wrong. It goes to show, junior or senior, you need to know the rules to be able to cope with what happens in a full day's competition. Today, this competition started at 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what the time is now, Tim, but it's a long day. Lots of things happen, and you must know the rules to be able to cope with what happens. James done exceptionally well, and he should be very pleased with himself. As we've been talking about the various rules, shoot-off has taken place as to who enters into the bronze medal match, with Marco Innocente hitting his first pair, and Andreas Lowe and Vitali Fokiev both missing their second target. So the shoot-off didn't last long. Historically, they don't go particularly long, shoot-offs within double trap. So Marco will be extremely pleased, and you'd have to say justice done as the highest qualifying shooter today, that he enters into a medal match for a chance to win bronze. He'd have felt very aggrieved to have had to leave the competition at this stage after shooting so well in qualification. As I said earlier, 2 back-to-back 30 straights, followed by 29 on his last round in conditions like this, was fantastic shooting.
Yeah, so now we're just getting ready for the bronze medal shoot-off between Hubert Olenek and Marco Innocente. You see the guys here just getting cartridges ready and getting on their pads. At the minute, the light conditions have gone really dull. The sun's gone behind a big cloud. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here, whether the conditions will stay as they are or whether the light will change as the round goes on. But also we can see here Andy Lowe just signing his card and leaving the range. You know, he must be absolutely devastated to have missed out again. I mean, good to get in the final, but I'm sure he was hoping for a medal. And we're joined by his teammate here, Michael Goldbrunner. He was also shooting today. Didn't quite shoot as well as he would have liked, I'm sure, like the rest of us. But what did you make of today, Michael?
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I finished up on 131, but as you said, the conditions are pretty hard. Once the sun is out, you can see the targets. Once it's gone, yeah, it's impossible to see them. And yeah, the best sporting shooters will win today.
And who's your money on in this bronze medal shoot-off, Michael? Are you going for Marco or Hubert?
I think Hubert, because it's Hubert's second final after Munich, where he won the World Cup. And it's just Innocente's first final, so I think Hubert's going to win.
Okay, interesting there, Michael. We'll wait and see. So again, interesting to see these guys have both got traditional stocks, with Hubert having a high rib and Marco Innocenti having basically a flat rib. So it'll be interesting to see their two styles and how the pair cope. So like Michael said, Hubert's coming off the back of a big win in Munich, and he's shooting second, which is possibly a slight advantage over Marco.
That's the first pair, killed very easily by Marco. And Hubert the same. In this medal match, you're going to see the two completely contrasting styles that double trap can be shot in. The traditional flat rib, lower gun hold, moving to the first target style, more akin to Olympic trap, which is when double trap first come onto the Olympic and international scene, which is how most people shot it. As time went on and technological advances in shotguns moved on, high ribs became the weapon of choice for most competitors, which we see Hubert shooting here, which involves them having a higher gun hold and staring out above the gun, letting their peripheral vision pick up the target as it appears from the trench, and shooting the first bird with little or no gun movement whatsoever, which gives you far greater control moving to the second target. It sounds easy, but it certainly takes years of practice and nerves of steel to be able to hold the gun there, waiting for the target to get to your gun without moving. Now, we've just seen Hubert miss his third pair out. One fraction error in timing when trying to spot shoot targets, and you can miss the pair. It throws your timing out for the second target as well.
Yeah, that's right, Matt. And I must say that Hubert's done exceptionally well here to come into the final after being at such a high after Munich. Although he appears to be struggling a little bit now with dropping another target. But again, credit to Hubert and also credit to his coach, Dusan Bakari, who's been a double trap shooter himself. He's been on the international scene for a little while, and he's now turned his hand to coaching, and he seems to have done an exceptional job with the Slovakian team. Interestingly, we can see Steve Scott sat here just watching the targets, just getting ready with our team coach or team manager, Kevin Gill. But Vasily Mosin has disappeared. He's obviously away, keeping himself away from the shooting, just getting himself prepared, getting ready, just chilling out. Steve Scott doesn't look too worried, to be honest. He looks to be enjoying it, just getting his cartridges ready and keeping out of the sun. And he's a great character, Scotty. He's always kind of in there and got a bit of banter for everybody. I know he's kind of their life and soul and having a good joke. Nothing tends to get him down, or if it does, not for very long. He's always bouncing back and is straight back up there. I know he's also good friends with a lot of the shooters as well. I mean, I know recently he was in Germany shooting with Michael, shooting game and things in the hunting season. I don't think he was very good from what Michael said, but I think he had a good time all the same.
I understand as a present, Michael Goldbrunner of the German shooting team brought him a set of lederhosen, which we're expecting him to wear later, which we hope will be worn with a celebratory drink. But in return for Steve Scott's slight Scottish heritage, he has bought Michael a kilt to wear. So whatever happens tonight, there'll be some fancy dress at the very least going on.
Yeah, and again, Michael's here with us, and he appears to be finding this quite humorous. Are you looking forward to this, Michael?
Always, because it's always fun going out with you guys.
Yeah, that's it. We always have a good time, and I think just goes to show in double trap what a good kind of team spirit and what good camaraderie we all have, and what a good fun we have after the event. We like to see each other do well. Unfortunately, here Hubert isn't doing so well in the bronze medal shoot off, and is currently 5 targets down to Marco Innocenti's 0 losses at the moment.
The Italian shooting teams in general, trap ski and double trap, are phenomenally strong. We are always seeing Italian shooters in the finals of all the disciplines. Marco, no different. He's a regular. He's been around for a long time. This will be. It's not new territory for him. This is quite new territory still for Hubert. Again, only his second real major international final. All coming together quite quickly for him, I have to say. So he should be very pleased. But the Italians are hardened veterans of the circuit. A lot of wildlife about. I'm afraid this is turning into quite a one-sided bronze medal match with Marco Innocenti steamrolling his opponent over here. This is effectively all over already. Again, you could say justice served with Marco shooting the highest qualifying score today, and he deserves a medal for some fantastic shooting.
Although he has just dropped his first target of the round, so it's not over just yet. Yeah, as we stand, the light conditions have remained fairly constant, and the wind seems to have died down a little bit from earlier in mid-afternoon when conditions were very tough. There was some very strong gusts around, and the light was dipping in and out. Fingers crossed it'll stay like this for the gold medal match as well. And we'll see some equally high-class shooting as we are now from Marco Innocenti. And again,
one miss only for Innocenti, 23, and 16 for Olejnik.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's basically it. That's Marco Innocenti has taken the bronze medal. Hubert cannot pull it back now. So I'm sure it's very disappointing to him, but in a month he's won a World Cup gold medal, and he's finished 4th at the European Championships. So it's definitely put him in a very strong position, ready for the World Championships in Granada later in the summer in September. So he's definitely going to be one of the guys to watch out for. And if you got a spare couple of quid and a visit in Ladbrokes, then maybe he's one to put a fiver on. And they're just about to shoot their last pair now, but it's a done deal. Marco's only 2 targets down to Hubert's 7 at the moment, I think. And Marco shoots his last pair. So Hubert just shoots his last pair now and shoots them cleanly. And I'm sure he's got a lot to be proud of from his achievement.
Marco Innocenti on winning the bronze medal, 4th place to Hubert Olejnik.
Yeah. So Marco Innocenti claims individual bronze, and the Italian senior team also win the team gold medal as well today, with myself, Tim Neal and Matt French, and our finalist Stephen Scott taking team silver, which we're extremely happy with, over the German team that took bronze. So we're quite happy with that, because last year we unfortunately lost out on countback to the Germans that they hadn't let us forget in a hurry. So we're definitely making the most of it, and we will be tonight with Michael's got his kilt on.
Yeah, we're very pleased with Team Silver. We've heard the word countback quite a lot in the last 12 months. For the Germans taking bronze, to us taking fourth, which we've taken quite well, Tim, I think. And we've come out this year and done ourselves some justice and taken Team Silver. Not sure who Team Bronze was taken by, Tim. Was it Germany?
Oh yeah, Germany got the Team Bronze today. So at the minute, I guess you could say it's 1-1, and we're just gearing up ready for the World Championships, just for the final shootout. So Michael here is smirking away as if it's sealed and a done deal, but we'll definitely be given a run for his money.
We're seeing Steve Scott and Vasily Mosin preparing for their final. We're just going through the motions with the various pictures being taken of our bronze medal match competitors, and the TV cameras getting in their shots. A note about our two finalists today. Say myself and Tim know a great deal about Steve Scott. He's great fun to be around, but I have to say he's probably one of the most competitive people I've ever come across in my entire life, whether it's playing a game of pool or a game of cards, Monopoly, anything. He has to win, and he does have the odd temper tantrum if he can't win. So very, very competitive chap, and he'll be doing everything he can to overturn Mosin today.
We wish you good luck.
Even recently, that hot dog eating championships we mentioned with Sam Wathen, Scotty come a close second, and he was certainly not happy about that. So there might well be a rematch coming up in the future. But now the guys are just getting ready. Mosin's shooting second, and Steve Scott is shooting first. So Scotty's looking very happy to be here. He's smiling and waving at the crowd. Let's just hope his preparation has been as good as Mosin's, or if not better, and he can replicate his semi-final result again. So here we go. The boys are kicking off now. Scotty's to shoot first, and he starts with a clean pair. That's good. And the two of them got very different styles and techniques again, Matt. You can see Scotty's kind of very much get the gun in the shoulder, takes his time and shoots, whereas Vasily, he likes to kind of dance around on the peg a little bit. He's very flamboyant. He's very active on the pad before and after his shot with his setup and his preparation. He's kind of very, very unique in what he does.
Yeah, that's right, Tim. You also see they're shooting slightly different. They're shooting the same model of gun, but with slightly different ribs. You'll see Steve Scott's has a half rib on his gun, which again is something that aids a bit more visibility. Maybe it's a height thing compared to Vasily. Vasily sticks to the standard full-length rib, which he's had the same setup for a very long time. But his performances have improved dramatically since his bronze medal win at the London Olympics. He's worked heavily on his fitness and his flexibility. He's a very strong looking chap. And again, his competitive nature, he's there and thereabouts in every international event. If he's not in the final, he's always in the top 10, and you can never rule him out of any event. And going into the World Championships at the end of this year, which marks the beginning of qualification for the Rio Olympic Games, he'd certainly be someone I would be sticking a fiver on to come away with an Olympic quota place.
Yeah, definitely, Matt. And we can see that both shooters at the minute are clean. They've both shot the first 4 pairs straight. The light conditions are getting a little bit duller. I've taken my sunglasses off because it's a job to see those targets, but But both guys are both very technical. And Steve Scott is currently coached by well-known shooter Ahmed Al Maktoum from UAE, who a lot of you will know as the Olympic gold medalist from Athens, who also coached Pete Wilson to his Olympic gold medal. So Scotty's been doing a lot of changes. He's been out to Dubai a lot. He's been doing a lot of training out there. And he certainly show it's all paying off now, and our Federation British Shooting have been supporting him, which I'm sure he's very grateful for, and hopefully they can see the benefit as well, you know, with this performance here. I mean, at the minute, British shooting seems to be on a high. We've had a lot of changes in the UK, but we're hopefully going to see the positive changes, and next year hopefully win some quota places, and then the big picture I think at the moment is maybe Tokyo rather than Rio, but yeah, things are going well. Kind of watch this space in Great Britain, and again there's Scotty just smoked his 7th pair, and Vasily again very theatrically getting ready to shoot his pair, which he does. And interestingly, his timing has speeded up as well. Now he's shot his first 5, he knows what the first pair is going to be. So both shooters know exactly what the first target's going to be. So they'll be shooting that first one with a still gun, and then just moving to the second one. Just letting their eyes move first and steering the gun and driving to it.
We're seeing quite a contrast here from the semi-final, with again now 8 pairs down and no misses. As every pair ticks by, the pressure will increase on any tiny mistake any shooter makes, and the curse of the commentator kicks in again, and Steve Scott misses his first target of the gold medal match.
Yeah, let's see if Vasily can capitalise on this and carry it on.
He does, and he crushes his next pair.
Yeah, Vasily almost seems to feed off situations like this. As soon as someone misses one and he hasn't, it almost seems to give him that extra little boost, and his timing speeds up. He seems more confident with what he's doing. So it'll be interesting to see how Steve reacts, whether he changes anything or his timing alters, or whether he just carries on shooting. So we've just stopped there. The referee has just shown a yellow card to Steve Scott because he's taken too long. So as we were talking about in the junior final, we have a 12-second counter. So Scotty took more than the 12 seconds to call for his targets, and the referee stopped it and showed him a yellow card. If he does that again, he'll get a red card, and he'll get docked a target. So that little disruption there might have worked in Scotty's favour, and Vasily has dropped a target. So they're both back on level pegging again. It's difficult to say whether that disruption had altered Vasily's concentration and focus, or whether it was just one of those things that just happens every now and again when you're shooting. So it didn't affect Scotty. He's kind of got back in the swing of things pretty quick. And so's Vasily again. So the pair of them dropped that one target, and now into the last 4 pairs. So it's neck and neck at the moment. It's really tense, and the pair of them will be kind of making buttons in their pants as to who's going to win that European gold medal. They're both shooting exceptionally well with only 1 target gone. Scotty's just glanced at the board. I don't know if that would be a good thing or not, but he's certainly feeling very confident, and hopefully he's loving every minute of this.
1 missed each. Last 3 pairs to go.
Only 3 pairs left. We saw Vasily Mosin in this exact same position only a couple of weeks ago in Munich, where he was, but this time last time he was straight with only 2 or 3 pairs to go in the semi-final match, looking to guarantee himself a gold medal match, and he missed 2 targets very late on. He'll be looking to clear up these last few pairs and make amends for his mistakes in Munich, which cost him a medal. Yeah,
it's definitely kind of changed the game in terms of endurance. I mean, we we started at 9 o'clock this morning. I was on the first squad, and it's now 20 to 7. So it's a full day event. You know, it may not be a marathon as the typical sense in terms of Olympic marathon running, but in terms of shooting, I mean, this is taken all day. You know, these guys have been out here in the sun, in the hot wind, and really taken a battering from the elements.
Fatigue really can come an issue in a great long day shooting. It takes a toll on your reactions, the intense reaction times required to keep this up.
Last pair now for Vasily. If he shoots these both, we're in a gold medal shoot-off.
29, plays 29. So it's going to come down to sudden death. Again, as before, the sudden death shoot-off will only be on the wide scheme. Steve Scott will shoot first, and Vasily will follow on, and it's the first man to miss, and that will be it. We will crown a European champion in the most dramatic of circumstances. That's amazing shooting in these conditions at this time of day, after hours of competing. It's more than just about pulling the trigger. It's managing your time on the range and off the range, your eating times, drinking times, keeping hydrated, resting in between rounds. All these things play a part in putting together a full day's shooting at this level.
Yeah, so here we are about to start the shoot-off for the European Championships. Steve Scott looks as if he's going to be the first man to go. So these guys must really be either loving it or hating it. It's going to be one or the other. Hopefully they're going to be loving it. It looks as if Steve's going to get to see the pairs. Vasily's just asked him to stand off the peg. No, I didn't think they got to see a pair either, Matt, but...
I'm not sure if the ref's too sure quite what's happening. Steve is now on the peg, and I believe he's not allowed to see a pair. He will just have to go straight in. And he will get the wide pair. Let's hope he hits it, and then Vasily will have to match him.
Yeah, so Steve's called, and he's shot his first pair clean. And we can see here again this 12-second counter. It's difficult to hear when the referee is actually calling when to go. But he's now called, and Vasily's away. Gun is mounted. And he as well has shot his 2 targets.
And the pressure now moves back to Steve Scott. We last year saw Vasily Mosin go 56 targets in a shoot-off. In these conditions, I can't see it going that long.
Oh, and there's Steve Scott. Got a very lucky second bird there. He looked as if he missed the second target, but a piece from the broken first bird went across and broke the second target. It looks as if he's having an extremely lucky day. Getting to where some... And Vasily has dropped his target because of it. Vasily has dropped his target. Steve Scott has won the European Championships. Who would have believed it? That's absolutely incredible. A target broke the second target. So that was perfectly acceptable. Both targets were broken in mid-air. Vasily went on and missed his second bird. And Steve Scott is European champion.
You can target or not, so it has to be given as pair killed. Whether that played a part in upsetting Vasily and his routine, and we will never know. But he went on to miss his second bird. Steve Scott, for the second time, is European double trap men's champion.
Yeah, so at the minute we can see the layout is just swarmed with supporters of Steve, which just goes to show how well he's liked around the world and within the shooting community. You know, the British guys are on there straight away and congratulating him, and he's got a massive grin on his face. You can see there the Germans as well and the Italians thanking him, and he's just having a fantastic time.
I mean, he shot very well today. Brilliant shooter. Just I had a little bit more luck today than he did. So no, really pleased.
Thank you very much for listening to Tim and myself today. We hope you enjoyed the commentary. We are utter novices at this, and we're drafted in last minute. But we've enjoyed ourselves, Tim.
Yeah, it's been good, Matt. We got a free beer out of it, so we can't complain.
1 free can of Heineken, and maybe 1 or 2 more local beers later. We'd like to say we'd love to commentate on the next one, but we hope to be in the final ourselves rather than commentating.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we'll be aiming for, and bring on the World Championships.
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye as well. That's been a Team Hot Dog production. Signing off from Matt and Tim.